Jack Monroe had always loved the quiet life. 50 acres of rolling hills, pastures dotted with cattle, and streams that sparkled in the morning sun. This ranch wasn't just land. It was a legacy, a place built by generations of hard work, early mornings, and late nights under the stars. It was his sanctuary, until the day it wasn't. It started innocently enough with a letter slipped under his door. All homeowners have the right to access community property. Jack blinked. Community property? He muttered. He hadn't joined any homeowners association. He hadn't agreed to any community rules. Yet somehow Margaret, the self-proclaimed president of the HOA, had declared his ranch open for business. The next morning it escalated. Joggers began trotting across his fields. Dog walkers let their pets chase his cattle. Families set up picnic tables near his creek. And when Jack confronted them, the answer was always the same. The HOA says it's okay. Jack couldn't believe what he was seeing. His land, his sanctuary, had become a playground for anyone with a water bottle and a sense of entitlement. But the most shocking moment came when he went to the local HOA office. There it was. Paperwork, forged signatures, and falsified records claiming Jack had willingly ceded parts of his property to the HOA. Jack felt a familiar tension rising in his chest. He'd been patient. He'd tried reason. He'd called, emailed, and confronted Margaret personally. But this was different. This was deliberate, systematic, and audacious. Someone wanted his ranch, and they didn't care how obvious it was. He took a deep breath. All right, he thought. If it's war they want, it's war they'll get. The first step was documentation. Jack set up cameras along the trails most people were using. Every jogger, every dog, every picnic. Everything was recorded. He cataloged timestamps, made notes, and photographed any trespassing activity. Evidence he knew would be his most powerful weapon. He also started posting warning signs. Bright, clear, impossible to miss signs. Private property. No trespassing. Violators will be prosecuted. Margaret, of course, ignored them. Karens don't respect boundaries. The first confrontation with the trespassers was intense. A sunny Saturday brought a group of hikers and dog walkers onto his property. Children were laughing, dogs barking, frisbees flying through the air. Jack approached, calm but firm. "Excuse me," he said, his voice steady. "This is private property. You're trespassing." The lead hiker, a woman clutching a water bottle like it was a shield, smirked. "The HOA says we can be here. You don't own the community." Jack's jaw tightened. "You're on my land. The HOA has no authority here. Leave, or I'll call the sheriff." Some argued. Some laughed. A few kids looked confused. And in the distance, Jack spotted Margaret, standing with her arms crossed, watching the scene like a general overseeing her troops. He realized then that this wasn't just trespassing. It was an orchestrated invasion. For weeks, the cycle repeated. Margaret held community meetings in Jack's barn, posting photos online, claiming Jack was hiding something. Emails flew back and forth, each more desperate than the last. Jack ignored them, focused on gathering proof. Every forged signature, every falsified deed, every trespassing incident became part of the record. Then, inspiration struck. Electric fences. Legal, visible, safe, but enough to make anyone think twice before stepping onto his land. He pictured it. A silent, buzzing line marking his property. A warning to anyone who dared challenge him. But before the fence could go up, he needed allies. Not all neighbors were blind to Margaret's power plays. A few came forward, quietly sharing concerns, expressing frustration over the community property claims. Slowly, Jack began building a coalition. The first subtle victories came quickly. A jogger stopped at one of the new, private property signs, hesitated, and looked back at Margaret waving from the street. The jogger muttered something under their breath and turned around. Jack smiled. Progress. But Margaret wasn't done. Karens never are. Her emails became frantic, her HOA meetings chaotic. She demanded Jack remove the signs, claiming they were intimidating and illegal. Jack calmly documented every communication. The law was on his side, and he knew it. As the sun set over the rolling hills of the ranch, Jack stood surveying his property. This was his home, his sanctuary. He knew Margaret wouldn't stop, but now neither would he. With his legal strategy prepared, cameras in place, and a growing coalition of supportive neighbors, Jack moved on to the next stage. The electric fence. It wasn't just a barrier, it was a symbol. Every post, every wire, every warning sign screamed one message. This land is mine. Installation day arrived. Jack worked methodically, placing fence posts along the main access points used by trespassers, stringing wires carefully, and attaching highly visible warning signs. It was perfectly legal, perfectly safe, and perfectly effective. The message was clear. Anyone entering without permission would face consequences. Margaret discovered the fence almost immediately. Her calls were frantic, emails desperate. She threatened lawsuits, claimed danger, and demanded immediate removal. Jack simply smiled. The law was on his side, and this time he had evidence of every trespass, every forged document, every interaction. The first trespassers approached the fence the following morning. Joggers, dog walkers, even a group of teenagers on bikes. They stopped short when they saw the signs and the wires glinting in the sun. Jack approached calmly. "This is private property," he said. "The fence is legal. You cannot enter." Some argued. Some tried to find loopholes. But Jack had anticipated every reaction. He had evidence, witnesses, and the law firmly on his side. Every hesitation, every attempt to cross was documented. Meanwhile, Margaret's meltdown escalated. At the next HOA meeting, she raged. Papers waved. Accusations flew. She claimed Jack was overstepping, harassing the community, and threatening families. But the tide had turned. Neighbors who once followed her blindly began questioning her. They saw the evidence, the forged signatures, and the trespassing documented on camera. Murmurs spread. Whispers grew louder. Margaret's empire began to crumble before everyone's eyes. Jack's final move was a neighborhood vote. With legal experts, neighbor testimonies, and photographic evidence, Margaret's power was nullified. The HOA was dissolved from the inside. Forged paperwork was invalidated. Jack regained full control of his ranch. The electric fence remained, not just as protection, but as a symbol. No Karen, no matter how audacious, could bully their way onto someone else's property. Margaret disappeared from public life, but her meltdown became legend. And Jack? He watched the sunset from his porch, knowing he had defended his land, his sanctuary, and his legacy. He had faced down an entire HOA, exposed a tyrannical Karen, and won. The message was clear. Sometimes the quietest people fight the hardest, and the most audacious Karens get shocked in the end.